What is going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video. A new country over here. I'm in the capital, Tbilisi, in Georgia, the actual country, not the state. And I arrived here like 2 days ago, but yesterday it was literally raining the whole day, so it's impossible for me to go out. So today it's still snowing, but I think it's a little bit more manageable for me to walk. So this city is literally up in hills and mountains. This day I think I'm just gonna focus mostly in the older downtown. And I'm staying here in this accommodation, Holiday Inn Express. I think it's a brand new hotel right here and near the old part of Tbilisi, but I'm gonna start walking here little by little because there's a lot of snow on the ground. Taking it in, you know, just going with the flow. Then I'm here for 2 more days. I'm gonna try my best to explore even better, but yeah, so far, first impressions of Georgia, I like it so far. Also, Georgia is the birthplace of wine. So the wine culture is actually huge over here. So I was able to try some of the wine and it was actually pretty good. Even though I'm not really like a wine guy, but why not? When you're in the country, try to, you know, indulge a little bit in the culture. So now I'm gonna start making my way towards the older part of downtown. And then I'm probably gonna walk who knows where if I can handle it with the weather. I wanna make it towards Liberty Square, but without further ado, join me. This is what you get over here. I can literally see the mountains over there from the end. Good thing I invested myself in a good jacket, good boots. So it's probably easy for me to walk. The thing is, it's not far where I'm going, but it's literally down the hill, and with snow, it's probably gonna be a little harder, but I'm gonna make it possible. I'm gonna make it happen. You know, we out here, so it's just weather. Weather should be harmless, you know, no matter what. That's not gonna stop me from exploring out here and making content for you guys. Wow, but I'm loving the view out here of the mountains. Woo. I think when I make it towards the river, it's gonna be even better, the view. You know, like I said, the first night I explored a little bit the old downtown area, but I haven't really been able to venture that much around here. I think it's better if I go down this way. Even have like a statue right here, as you can see. And the sun is trying to come out, so hopefully that happens. And here you can see some of the architecture. Today is Saturday, so that might explain why it's not too busy out here today. Well, they haven't really plowed the sidewalks. So the area that I'm staying in Tbilisi is called Rustaveli. Not sure if I'm saying it correct. Wow, it's traffic jam. People do drive crazy out here. But a good thing about this area that I'm staying is that they have a metro line. I have yet to take it, but it's literally like right across my hotel. So if I need to go to another part of the city, I'll probably do that like maybe tomorrow when the weather's better. Because they also have a modern side in Tbilisi, so if I want to go to another side, I could take the metro. They got the bus. I heard public transportation is actually pretty good out here. And I want to show you like the signs of the streets. See the signs, how nice they look. And architecture, there's a big church over that way. Boy, it's a lot of snow, so when the weather's better, I'll make it over there. This little tiny street over here is where it got a lot of beautiful old architectures. And some of the architectures reminds me of where I'm from Puerto Rico, especially the capital, like San Juan. I'm just gonna be careful, guys, because you know, there's a lot of snow here and I'm vlogging, so I don't wanna like slide and collapse. Probably better if I walk in the street. This is some of the streets where you're gonna see ahead of me. It's actually impressive. Wow, like I said, it's probably easier for me to walk in the street level because the snow is a little bit slippery and icy. But we are in for a treat ahead on the other side. This is just like a little regular neighborhood out here, not too far from the older part. And then here, just like the previous country that was before Armenia, they have street dogs, like big dogs over here. And here you see like a Georgian bakery. Georgian bakery right here, nice. So they specialize like in the bread, you see the architecture, the signs in Georgian. But yo, the view ahead of me is wow. So I think I'm in for a treat, even though it's snowing. Gotta be careful with the car behind me. Even though it's snowing, I think it's gonna be a beautiful capture, a beautiful way to capture this beautiful city with the snow. Just gotta wait for the cars to pass by. You got one of the dogs. Yo, this dog literally looks like the one that was at my hotel yesterday. Is that you? Yeah, I think so. Look at him over here, all wet and shivering, but big and friendly. There was another dog right here. Let me see. Where's your buddy? Oh, I guess he went somewhere else. Oh, wow. I can smell the food out here. Then also another thing I noticed in Georgia, I think this thing is called Culinary. Looks like some dumplings. I had it the first night that I came here, and it was actually pretty good. They didn't have it at this location, but I had it in the older downtown. But yeah, it was pretty good. You know, the cuisine here is pretty interesting. Then I had some chicken kebabs, and those were some of the tender and juiciest chickens I ever had. So it was a good start here the first night that I came. But now we're just gonna hit the center to see what's going on. I gotta be careful because the hill's literally going down, but you're gonna admire the beautiful architecture that we got going on right here. Here's kind of the beginning of the city center, and you can see it's cobblestones, but it's literally covered with the snow. So, and I'm going down the hill, so I gotta be really careful. Even though I got a good pair of boots, but you can see the architecture, how nice it is. Here's the other dog. This is a buddy of the, this must be like a wine and a restaurant bar, which they have them all over. And you see the church right behind me. Hello, doggy. How are you, buddy? And most of the times when you see the sheep in their ear, that means that they are vaccinated, so you know it's safe. Literally patrolling the streets. So it's a nice vibe, you know, with the snow. So I think over here is a church. I see the people going up the stairs. So as an explorer, you know, I'm gonna head up there and see what's going on, even though here I'm loving what I'm seeing. But let's see what's up here. Whoa, trying to be careful I don't fall back. The snow, it's intense. Also, another thing about this city, they have a cable car. Maybe tomorrow during the sunset, I'll take it all the way wherever it takes me. I think it takes to the mountain and to near a church. I gotta be careful because this over here, it's like a melted snow. But over here, you got a beautiful view of the church, so pretty interesting city. So yeah, good thing I came prepared for the weather. This is the church right here. You can see how beautiful it is. It's nice. But now let me go over this side to see if I can get a little view of the city. Then over here is the older part of downtown that's literally divided by the river. So yeah, this is gonna be actually pretty interesting. Here you got it, guys. The old downtown of Tbilisi. Goes all the way over that way. And you can see the cable cars. Wow, they seem like they're stuck. So I don't think it's a good day to take the cable cars today because of the snow. And then there's a church similar to the one I'm standing, so it goes over there, and then there's another one right here. Here I think it's gonna be even better because I see a lot of people taking the pictures. It's the church right here, and over that way I can see the modern side of Tbilisi. Like I see the modern, couple of skyscrapers over that way. But yeah, let's go over this side. Pretty interesting city, you know, like people do come here, but it doesn't really get much footage. I just so happened to come here because, you know, I was in Armenia, and since I'm right here, why not explore it? And so far it's beautiful, and the people are pretty nice. So, you know, gonna walk over this way. I'll probably get like a better, yeah, but more, I think this is where you get the better view. So this is probably gonna be my thumbnail area, you know. But yeah, pretty gorgeous city out here. But here's what I'm explaining you. From a distance, you can see how the skyscrapers, they start turning modern. There's even a modern bridge over here that connects with this side of Tbilisi. And this is where I walked the first day, which I'm gonna walk here in a bit. Gives you a nice vibe. It would be nice like if they had like a ferry that goes around the river, and then the cable cars right here, surrounded by the mountains. So plain beauty. I think in this side of the view is actually pretty better. So yeah, here's a better view because you got the mountains and the older downtown right here. Look at the mountains. And they're building like some modern buildings right here. So it seems like you're gonna be doing a lot of cardio to go up in those hills. I'm gonna try to make it towards the other side. There's like a plaza in the middle, but a lot of cute restaurants that they have going on right here. So now I'm just gonna cross the bridge towards the other side and start walking some of the streets of the older part. Gonna be a little challenge because the roads are, you know, not in the best shape or condition. I'm gonna try to walk here. Hopefully it's not extremely slippery. So like I say, just bear with me. I'm just taking it easy, but doing my best to explore the city and bring content for you guys. This is what I'm talking about. See the conditions. Good thing I invested myself in a good pair of boots. So it makes it easy for me to walk around, but just be careful, you know. Because you can have some injuries, but they should literally shovel the snow out here. But we're gonna be in for a treat when we make it towards the other side. And here's where it's gonna be a nice vibe. I think this is like really highlights this city, like the river and crossing and seeing like the mountains. And the city within the mountain, but plain beauty. And then over here you got the river, as you can see. But I'm a little scared of heights, so I was trying to stand like in the corner of the road. So I just found out like near the cable car station, there is the modern bridge. And I thought it was a bridge for cars, but it's actually a pedestrian bridge called the Bridge of Peace. So I'm gonna figure my way over there and walk towards the bridge. And then there's a famous clock in Tbilisi in the old part. So I'm gonna go check it out. Here in front of me is a modern bridge that you can see every time you see a video about Tbilisi. And pretty nice though. Like I said, I thought it was a car bridge, but it's actually a pedestrian bridge with a futuristic, you know, ceiling and everything. So I'm gonna cross it. This is the bridge right here. Connected right, you know, to the tram and the city center. There's actually another dog right here. So look at this dog. He looks like a wolf. He's just sleeping. Wow. Hey dog. And then here you see this. So yeah, I like the strut, and it's very good that they built like a pedestrian bridge like this. And then this will connect you to the famous clock that they have in this city, which at first time I thought it was just part of a tower or a building, but it turns out it's a huge, massive clock. So I'm gonna go check it out. Also, another thing that I'm curious that I noticed is around this area, because I guess this is like the major touristy part. A lot of people, I'm not sure if it's legit or not. This happens also in New York City, where I used to live and work for years. They got like characters hanging out here, offering tour and stuff. Actually, one guy approached us saying that the cable car is not working, or it's not advisable to ride a cable car today and tomorrow, but he has other things to offer. So I honestly don't believe him, you know, but you know, you just say no and just keep on moving, and they respect it. And once you exit the bridge, it connects you to this side. And then you see, oh wow, there's even a monument over there. I think that's where the cable car takes you, and you walk all of that. And look at architecture here. Look at this building, how nice it is. And then ahead of me is pedestrian. There should be a couple of restaurants, coffee shops, and it should be the famous clock. And here's a little alleyway. I think it's a little bit artistic too, you know, the buildings and everything. Like I say, due to it being cold weather, you don't see much movement, but got hotels, wine bar, a couple of restaurants nearby, you know, pretty cute. The buildings, I like it. Yeah, but just like wine bars next to each other. So I made it here to the clock, and there's a little trick. It's not just this big clock. There's a little tiny clock over here. If you look at the building, you come over here, this is actually the tiny clock. I would never have any idea. And it's actually functional too. It's a very, very cool clock. Like the style, like the style, the architecture, everything. It's nice, and the details, you know, if you love art, this would be a pretty awesome clock for you guys to check out. And check this out, guys. See the mountain over here. And then on this side is like the modern side and the cable car, so we are in for a treat. And then, like I say, this is literally a workout city, because you literally go up the hills and they can be pretty steep. Even worse when it's icy and snowy like this, but whoa, I'm panicking already. Let me see if I do at least one more block and show you what's happening around here, because I see literally like a church. And look at some of the tiny streets. I'm pretty sure in the summer, this is very busy over here with people and everything. And then here you see a wine store. You're gonna find wine stores all over in the city, because, you know, it's the birthplace of wine. And a nice architecture. Look how steep it is to go all the way up there. Ooh. If I was to come back in the summer, I'll definitely do it, but not today. In the words of Dikembe Mutombo, rest in peace, not today. But you get the vibes of what the city looks like, so it's pretty nice. Let me see what's out here, and then I'm gonna turn back and walk towards the other way and make it more towards another part of the city. And here you see some of the historic district, pretty well preserved roads that they keep out here. A lot of hotels over here too, you know. But the streets are pretty narrow and tight. You got the stairs that could take you down here. But if you're a fan of old architecture like myself, then I think you'll like the city, you know. It's pretty cute, it's pretty chill, and a lot of beautiful architecture that they offer right here. And just look at the streets and the way how it goes all the way up there. So no need to have a gym here. You just do a lot of cardio with the walking and you know, you're good. As you can see, I'm literally surrounded by hills behind me. One here, one and the other one, and church all over. But now I'm just gonna walk towards the other side of the strip and try to make it towards Liberty Square. It looks like it's nearby in the map. Maybe it might be far in person, but hey, gonna make it happen and walk there and see what's going on. The good thing about this city is that it's pretty walkable, and it's not really like big in size, so it's pretty easy to get from one side to another one by foot. And you get distracted exploring like all the beauty that they had to offer right here. So it's something that you really don't mind doing, walking, a little bit of cardio and exercise. And then here is the other side. Wow. Then just a little motivation or something a little bit personal. In a few weeks, it's gonna be 1 year since I resigned my job and took the leap of faith. And it never crossed my mind to be in Georgia, you know, or exploring around. After Georgia, I'm going to another place too that's gonna be cool, that a lot of people, they wanna go. And I never thought I would go there, but you know, I'm still not exactly where I wanna be, but I'm glad that I took that leap of faith because, you know, I'm making things happening. I'm a little bit happier than when I used to be doing my corporate job, and I'm exploring how beautiful the world is in a beautiful place like this, like Georgia, with church, mountains, and everything. So, you know, if you have dreams or ambitions, make it happen. You know, it's 2026. Now we got all the resources and tools, so don't let nobody stop you from doing what you want to do and makes you happy. I'm just gonna walk here in the main street. I did walk here the first night that I arrived. Only a little portion. We were just hungry and trying to find a good spot to eat, and we end up eating in the spot like right behind me. I gotta be really careful with the sidewalks. It can be slippery out here, but let's see what's happening ahead of me. Here we go. Got a couple of coffee shops. They also have Dunkin' Donuts here in Georgia. So I guess Georgia runs on Dunkin'. Then they even have Subway and Dunkin' Donuts behind me. There's another Dunkin' over this side. This one is open. And then if you go down the hill over here, it's literally like a strip with tons of wine bars and restaurants. Let me see if just the road conditions are not the best, especially when you're going up and down the hills. But let me see if I can show you just a little brief of what's going on right here. Here it is. But like I say, when the weather's nicer and warmer, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be, like we say in the States, popping or popular or busy, you know. I just wanna do a little detour over here to show you the architecture and how cute the streets are. Pretty tight, narrow roads, but they're beautiful with the cobblestones. You see the architecture, how gorgeous it is, you know. I'm probably gonna do a little detour over that way so you guys can see what's going on. And here, see how empty it is. Like I say, cold weather. I'm not sure when this summer start out here, so I probably didn't came at the right time. But it's okay, you know. I just so happen to be in the region, so why not explore no matter what? But here, you know, you're gonna find tons of restaurants, bars, mostly wine bars, you know. And then they have outdoor sitting area where people can sit. Even over here ahead of me, the streets will get a little bit tight. And then here you see what's going on. Covered nice, but little narrow roads over here. Here's the stairs. I think here it takes me to another street that looks good. Oh, they even have a nightclub right here. Cool. From one narrow road to another narrow pedestrian alley. See? It's all the way here in the back and towards my front. And then here they have halal options. So it's pretty easy to find halal here in Georgia for, I guess, for my Muslim brothers and sisters. You know, you can find it out here. And this is a nice looking pedestrian alley, but like I said, the snow, not much you can do about it, but I guess the good thing is that you have it all to yourself. Like I said, if I wouldn't take that leap of faith, I would never imagine that I would be in a city like this. Exploring, you know? Exploring, meeting people from all over the world, networking. I think that's actually a way that you grow, you know, just jumping on it, doing what you gotta do, and then you interact with other people, and then you grow mentally too, and a lot of things. And then, like I say, I'd rather do it now than not taking any chances, and then I get older and I regret why didn't I took that leap of faith. This is probably some of the nicest Dunkin' Donuts I've ever seen. And you have even securities, there are dogs, they're watching it. Hey dog, Dunkin' Donuts over here. So we're gonna keep walking the main street. Like you see a lot of hills, a lot of old buildings. But I wanna make it towards another, the main area, because I've only explored like this district that I'm staying. You know, because of the weather, it hasn't been in my favor, but that's okay. Sometimes you can't really control Mother Nature, you know. So just keep going here. They got Ibis Hotel, which is, I think worldwide, they have it in many other countries. So in this main street, you can find a couple of hotels. I remember in the past, I wanted to stay in a hotel around here. I tried to come to Georgia, but it couldn't be possible because, you know, for my fiance, she has a weak passport and it was too late to get the visa, but now we are out here. So this is a hotel like literally in the corner, and then down here, they have like a pedestrian area also with a lot of restaurants. Just gonna show you like a little peek so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. But yeah, but also I gotta remember we're Holiday Inn, so we'd rather stay there. While I'm looking at the buildings, it kind of reminds me a little bit of New Orleans, like the French Quarter, the architecture. And now, wow, see community work, people just working out here, cleaning the area. I just like the architecture of the buildings, it's nice. And look at this, guys. Loving the streets and the sidewalk, you know, it has the cobblestones, the streets too, so literally covering cobblestones, and then of course the older architecture, making it a pretty charming city. The only difference is, I mean, there is people, but not too many people, you know. Oh, look at this, fresh apple juice, orange juice, you know, so. And here they really pump up the juice, you know, like fresh, natural juice. Oh, I discovered this coffee joint right here. So one thing I noticed is not really like much coffee shops. It seems like they focus more on the wine industry, like another wine store over here, you know. But yeah, like I said, I'm not really a wine guy, but since I'm here, I had to try it, and it was pretty good. I'm a little scared I might get hooked on the wine. You know, I ended up buying a wine from the supermarket, a local Georgian wine, which I'm gonna take the glass as a souvenir back to where I live. But yeah, I think that's one thing that I noticed about Georgia, that it lacks like coffee shops. But like I say, every country is different. They have different cultures, so you just got to adapt to it. Over here, they got like a nice, beautiful street art. I just want to see it. It's a shop, but I like the street art. If you guys know, I'm a huge fan of street art, so I always admire the art in every city that I go. Oh, they even got a honey store right here, but look at me. Surrounded by this beautiful architecture and the cobblestones. Now the street's gonna do is merge towards the other side, and that should take me towards Liberty Square, so hopefully there's more action happening over that way. And here you see a modern architecture. Not sure if it's like a hotel. I think it is, because I see like the carriage surrounded by the old buildings out here, so. And then here I'm literally going up the hill. I guess you could take this also like a tour, and they'll tour you around the city. So yeah. But I'm just loving all the buildings that are surrounded, you know. Not really tall buildings, but it's very cute to look at, you know, the architecture that they have right here. So yeah, and then even little tiny alleys in every corner. So here we got like a bakery, specialized in croissant, bread, you know, all about the bread. Oh, it's another one right here. Cool. Oh, here's a coffee shop, Daily Grind. Finally, I noticed a coffee shop. So I'm about to have a feast over here. Georgian cuisine, tomato sauce, Georgian style. Big bread right here that they bought us fresh that they make over there, and some kebabs, man. I had to stop because the restaurant caught my attention. So here I got huge, massive bread right here, wow. I'm gonna try it alone, but it don't go well with the kebabs that I have here. This is art, wow, so let's try. It's good. So I made here, put the bread, I put the kebabs inside. So I think it's both beef and lamb, that's what they told me. But they have many options. Then they have this famous tomato sauce, like Georgian style. So yeah, I want to try like what is local out here. So I'm gonna take a bite of the kebab, let's see. Wow. Wow, this is pretty good. Like a simple meal, but packing flavors like bread and protein and meat, and then they serve you a little bit of veggies on the side. Wow, this is really good. I love the food out here. So I'm just gonna wrap up my food, but I'll catch you guys in a bit. So I ate food here in this restaurant over here. Very good food, you know, and pretty decent price and friendly staff. I think it's like a family-owned business, but yeah, if you're ever here in Tbilisi in the street, then come to this restaurant here. Can't even read it. I think it's called Dede on top, but very good food, and the kebabs are top-notch. Then ahead of me is a square, so what I'm seeing in front is a beautiful scenery, like old architecture and the mountains all the way in the top and the back. So I think here we are in for a little treat. There should be also like a little mall over here around this area, because I saw that in Google. But here it is. Oh, they got a courtyard by Marriott. That used to be my former work company. And then the beautiful architecture. So this is it, Liberty right here. And it's funny, there's literally a guy in t-shirt and shorts. He was taking a selfie. I'm not sure if he's jogging or running. Seems like he's a runner. I don't know if my camera can capture. It's crossing the other street, but that's intense. It's a little bit cold out here. But I guess people, you know, are different. Some people, they can handle certain types of weather better than other people. You can see it's a pretty wide plaza. And you got the monument right here. All the way up here, so yeah. I think throughout the years they changed the name of this square right here. Right, and here you see like another Dunkin' Donuts. So Georgia really runs some Dunkin'. What I noticed about Georgia, the Dunkin' Donuts are together with Subway. There's also like another sandwich chain restaurant right here. So, but yeah, then they got like a bank over here. So it seems like it's a little bit more busier over this side right here comparing to the other side that you got. So now there should be like a modern mall in my other direction. The thing is, how do I cross towards that way? Gonna be a little bit of a challenge, but I'll manage to make it happen. Okay, so they got an underpass. I think in the underpass I can cross towards the other side. It says underground retail zone. Maybe that will connect me towards the direction that I want to go. So this is the underpassage of the road. So this is how you usually cross the streets. They got restaurants, toilets down here. So pretty interesting concept that they got going on. And this will take me towards the other side that I want to go. So yeah, I guess they try to protect, you know, the streets from city lights, so they have underground tunnels that connect you to the other side. Made it here to the plaza. The underground keeps going towards the other side, but I want to see a little bit of this square here, because you got the old architecture in front of me and then modern architecture, so a little bit of both combined together. But very beautiful what they have here. And then here you see massive plaza with the beautiful buildings and the square right here, looking gorgeous. And here you get little view, 360 view of what I'm surrounded with. And then you end up with a modern building. But yeah, I'm just gonna take that underpass to make it towards the other side. Like I say, there should be a mall ahead of me. I'll probably take a peek, and if I can film, then I'll probably do that for you guys, and I'll continue exploring other streets out here. But you know, just a little bit of a first video out here, Tbilisi in Georgia, and so far, you know, it's really beautiful out here. I like it. Across to the other side, of course, using the underpassage. And then over here, they got a modern building, which it turns out to be a mall. So this is a mall right here. Kind of looks a little bit like the Hudson Yards in New York City in the outside. I want to see, what's the name of this mall? Galleria Tbilisi. Okay, that's cool. I'll probably go inside and take a look at the mall. And then they got the metro line right here, so you could take the train from right here. Then Liberty Square, so it's convenient that it drops you right here in the center. I guess this is like a center of connection. And then you see how wide the streets are. And the older architecture is looking pretty gorgeous. So this is the mall here. Not big, but you have an idea what it looks like. Cute mall. But then later I'm gonna head up to Rustaveli Avenue to see what's going on right there. I'm in Rustaveli Avenue, I think that's how I say. And it's probably like one of the main avenues out here in Tbilisi. So it's gonna go all the way towards the other side. Maybe there might be some stores, some interesting things. I even saw they have a MoMA, you know, Metropolitan Art Museum, just like they have in New York. They have it out here. So I'm probably gonna walk towards that way. And then I'm not gonna film the MoMA, but I'm gonna take the metro back towards my accommodation because I literally searched in the map. They have a metro station and it goes literally right to my hotel. So that's very cool that I'm accommodated right across the street from where the metro is. So over here is looking pretty beautiful, like architecture, everything. Wow, even though it's snowing, but I like what I see out here. See the streets, how it is. What is this building about? I see a lot of people exiting the building. Well, gonna pull out Google and find out, but a lot of historic buildings over here. Archaeological treasure. So it seems like they have a valuable meaning out here. So it seems like this over here is like a palace. It has a pretty interesting looking building that's right here in front of me. So maybe it's like a governmental office. I see police, so you know, you always got to be careful when you see a couple of police out here. But the building is interesting. I think you can literally see it in the screen. It's actually the Parliament of Georgia. Not sure if it's allowed to video or picture it in the front. I'm not sure, you know, they have police out there. I didn't, you know, because I know in some countries, maybe it doesn't work like that here. In some countries, it's not really like allowed, you know. There was police there. Even when I passed by, I didn't film, but one of the cops was looking at my camera. But it's okay, and even in the entrance, they had like a tent, so maybe there is protests going on over here, but you know, I'm just here to visit and see how beautiful this country is. Nothing to do with politics, and so far, you know, street is looking pretty nice. Beautiful architecture I can see that I'm surrounded by. So I think this is like one of the main streets of the capital of Tbilisi. So I'm gonna walk ahead because maybe there's something more interesting for me to see ahead. And over here you got a Marriott hotel, nice building, old architecture, but I feel like it's a little bit isolated. Then here I guess is where all the stores start. Yeah, but I like this beautiful architecture. I think it's gonna get even nicer ahead of me. So here's where it's gonna get more interesting. Probably some restaurants going on. Gorgeous building right here, you know, but it lacks a movement of people, not really much people. So might be also because it's Saturday, it might be also because of the snow, but hey, you know, at least I'm exploring out here. I think tomorrow I'm gonna take the cable car, and then I think once you get to the cable car, there's like a hill with a nice view. It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow, so yeah. Also, another thing I noticed, once you exit like this main street, they have like a lot of graffiti, you know, because Georgia has had a history, you know, with protests and stuff. But like I said, I'm here to explore the country and see what it has to offer. You know, it's the birthplace of wine, and they got some awesome cuisine, so, you know. But if you like architecture and art, I think this is a city that you're gonna like. What I do like is how wide the streets are. So you do see a lot of shops, but like I say, not really much movement or crowds of people. But architecture is nice and pretty wide, you know. I like how they keep the sidewalks out here. Hey doggy, how are you? Good? $1 million question, did the electricity went out here? Because I'm looking at all the stores over here. It seems like there's people inside, but they're dark. Or do they have like a different schedule or hour? I don't know. Yeah. What is this building here across from me? Look at this building, how nice it is. And then you got a modern high-rise building right here. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna pull out my Google to see what this building is about. This is the Opera and Theater Ballet of Tbilisi. And then the other building should be the MoMA Museum. So this is actually MoMA right here. So yeah, nice building. And then you got a little modern building right there in the back. So looking pretty interesting. Now that I'm thinking, maybe the windows are just dark, but there's probably light in the inside of the business, you know. It probably just looks dark from the outside. 'Cause I see people eating in some of the restaurants out here. So I don't know, I'm just curious how things work out here in the city. But so far, pretty interesting, and that's one of the, hey doggy, one of the beauties about exploring different countries and different cities around the world, that you get to see how things work differently in any side. Here you can see some of the modern buildings. There's a Radisson Hotel, and I see some skyscrapers at the end, so that's probably the other part of Tbilisi. And here ahead is a monument and a couple of buildings, and you'll see a lot of graffiti surrounded by the park. The metro train is on the other side too, which I'm gonna take in a bit. Oh wow, look at this. This is a McDonald's right here. And then a couple of nice looking architecture. But I think this is gonna conclude just for now. Maybe later or for the next few days I'll film something else around here in the city. The weather's gonna get a little bit more stable. But I'll show you a little bit of what's around here. I think I'll walk a decent amount around the city with the snow. So that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.